from a product management background. So I think I'll be moderating the session for today, and I'll be posting questions related to product management role to both of you. And obviously, Priyanka has joined ISB recently and in the cohort of 23. So I can ask her questions related to her journey so far and ISB's experience so far. And you can add to what he has said, etc. So,
of course. Works.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So good evening, all. I welcome you all to the career session in product management roundtable series conducted by Indian School of Business. My name is Mansa Kauri. I work with the admissions team at ISB, and I work for the flagship program called PGP in Management. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of messages related to panelists not being audible. Can somebody let us know that are we audible, all of us? Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So quickly moving on, I would like Chaitra to please introduce yourself, and also Priyanka, over to you. So let's start with Chaitra.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, all of you. And really happy to be joining this roundtable session and sharing my experience and answering the questions that you might have. So my name is Chaitra. I'm the product manager working in Microsoft right now, but a little history and my journey so far. I started off with working in VMware as a software engineer for around 3 years. And then in parallel, I did have a startup stint as well for around a year in the e-commerce space. And then I actually wanted to move from more of a tech contributor to more of a business role and have more say in what the product has to do and so on. So I wanted to shift my direction, and hence, that's where ISB came and played a very vital role. I was in the ISB cohort of 2018-19. So I'm from the co-19 cohort. And that 1 year had such a steep learning curve, and I'll probably touch on that a bit later as well. But after that year, I changed my function to product management from software engineering, and I joined Agio, which is an e-commerce, fashion e-commerce platform, and worked there as a product manager, both in the marketplace platform and then the storefront. The storefront is what you see on the app, and for around 2 years. After that, I moved to Microsoft as a product manager, and I'm working for the Microsoft Teams product as of now. And it's been a great journey so far. And that's a very brief intro about me, and we'll be going to the details of how ISB came in, how MBA works, how does it all come together. So I'll just pause here for a bit and let Priyanka go, and then we'll, go deeper.
Thank you, Chaitra. I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, I am Priyanka Mulakala, and I'm from cohort 2023. That is, I'm pursuing my PGP right now. Currently, I'm in ISB, live from ISB. So I am from a tech background, and I worked as a senior programmer analyst and as an AVP at Citigroup, Manhattan, New York. So I've done my master's there in computer science, and then briefly returned back from the US to India to pursue my PGP with ISB. And I'm a product management aspirant too. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys, because I was there on your side once upon a time, and now I'm on the other side, and makes me feel happy. And I'm really grateful to be here, to be helping you guys clear your doubts with the admission process. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Priyanka and Chaitra, for a very brief introduction. And Priyanka, I'll be bugging you more questions related to the application, because you have just, crossed the hurdle. Thank you so much. So let's start the session. My first question is to Chaitra. Do I need IT technical expertise to be considered for product management role in IT giants, or can an automotive product management role can be considered for IT company? how to transition from strategy consulting to product management roles if you do not have a tech background?
Got it. Got it. So I think it's a very common question that folks have, right? I think even once you join ISB, people have the same question that, hey, I don't have a tech background. How does it help in my prospects of, jobs in bigger IT companies or even any of the placements that happen, right? So I just want to clear one thing. I know that a lot of people say that tech background is necessary and all that, but to be very honest, in a day-to-day job of product manager as well that I've been doing in the last 3.5 years, and so on, right? You don't necessarily need a tech background. It's just that it's a good to have, of course. If you have it, it's a good to have because it makes some conversations with your developers or your engineering a little bit easier. But I have seen a lot of my folks in my cohort itself who don't have a tech background, and they've become great product managers at Microsoft, Flipkart, and Google as well. So yeah, I would say the tech background is not like a must have. And you need to work on the general skills that product management needs, like design thinking, critical thinking, and problem solving mainly, right? And of course, there's the data aspect, there is the design aspect, and then overall, like a structured thinking is what companies look for when they interview, even during placement. So I would say having a tech background is not a must. So I hope that clarifies the first question. The second one about moving from strategy consulting to product management, I have seen folks make that shift. And also consulting is more like broader. You get into a lot of different industry projects as well. And product management is, a little bit more specific to what you do on a day-to-day basis, right? So it's easy to convert from a strategy consultant to a product management role. Some parts are overlapping. For example, in product management as well, you have parts where you decide the roadmap, the prioritization of what features should go in next. So all of those will require some skill set that you have as a strategy consultant too. And there's also some part of it which requires data analysis of how your customers are behaving, what are the trends like, and you need to take data backed decisions as well. So that as well requires some skills which are overlapping with the strategy consultant path. So I would say it's ISB definitely has seen a lot of strategy consultants move to product management. So yeah, I hope that answers both questions.
Definitely, Chaitra. I think rightly said, it gives you an overview around the product going from A to Z. And probably if you not have too much of expertise in the technical coding level, I think it still works, right? So
exactly.
Right. So thank you so much, Chaitra. And Priyanka, you have anything to add to what Chaitra has said?
I would definitely agree. Since our alum sessions have started already, it's great to hear Chaitra also saying the same thing. So I guess it's the fact that you don't have to be into the coding part and all to get into the PM role. It's all about problem solving, as Chaitra said, and most importantly, it's about how you portray yourself in the interview and how you show up your resume where you get the shortlist maximum. So I would pressurize on that point. Yeah.
Right. So moving on to the next question. Well, I would like to put across one admission-related question to Priyanka. How can a person with 4 to 5 years gap between his graduation to employment join ISB? Yep.
Okay, so that means a person is like somebody potential who wants to get into admissions, like with a 4 to 5 experience of job industry. I would say I worked for 3 years and then I applied for ISB. So I would stress on the GMAT and on your essays and the application and the overall overall strengths that a person possesses, and even the I'll add the interview process also to it. So the most important pointers are here is apart from the experience is just a part of the application process. And apart from the application process, there are many more things that get into the weightage, which has to be given equal importance to, like the application essays and your overall background, the way you portray yourself again. So even though it is a 3 years or a 4 years or a 10-year work experience background candidate that's applying, I would say focus more on portraying yourself and be honest about it, and then try to show yourself like qualified to get into this institution. That would be yeah, that would be my take on it.
So you have anything to add to what Priyanka said?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I'll probably add later as well, but I think what Priyanka said, I agree with that completely.
Thank you, folks. So the next question goes to Chaitra. How difficult will it be? One second, sorry. How difficult will it be for someone with no consulting background in the past to crack a good job in consulting pre-MBA and post-MBA? And which are the most demanding skills for consulting?
Got it. So one is about the difficulty level, and the second is about the skills required for consulting, right? I think a minimum 2 years experience is required for all ISB,
Yes.
ISB cohort. And I think in the 2 years, I mean, there are a lot of folks who join without the consulting background as well. And in the first 4 terms of the year, right, there is a lot of prep that goes in, like with case studies and, group sessions and mock interviews, etc. So I think once you start the ISB journey, you sort of get into that mindset with similar people around, having the same conversations about how to do this, how to get, when you have a particular goal of, especially the top consulting companies that come to ISB, like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, EY, you name it, right? So it helps you having similar people around you with the same mindset, same goals, right? And B, even when you're preparing with the best minds there. So that also has an edge. And I think once you get in, you will automatically start preparing. I think Priyanka can speak for that, but the atmosphere is such that you automatically start preparing these case studies and all of this. So I think the first 4 terms is when you really need to work hard to get those GPAs, especially for consulting, for getting the shortlist, right? So I would say, since you have people around you as well working for the same thing, you feel motivated to do the same. It is, of course, you need to put in some hours, but with the resources available, with the peers around you, with having similar mindsets and having great discussions, I would say, on a day-to-day basis, and also with the classroom atmosphere, having class participation with your lecturers and also the course content itself, I think it prepares you very well when the placements actually come in and the shortlists start to come in. So even if you don't have prior experience for getting a consulting job during the placements during ISB, there are certain things that you need to sort of master or work upon. Of course, resume and all of that is something which alums also come and help, and mock interviews is something which alums also come and help. And even in the campus, there are a lot of things that student-run clubs itself do, like the consulting club or the BTC club, etc. So there are a lot of these resources which will help you get what you want in your career. And ISB will actually, ISB has dedicated sessions as well to, get you there. So that's what I would say. And I think the placement week is the most stressful one, but I mean, a lot of folks who I know who were in my cohort and the previous cohorts as well, who don't have a previous experience as well in consulting, have got consulting jobs in the top firms. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Chaitra. I think it was quite comprehensive because you covered every aspect of how a person, I mean, if let's say I'm not coming from product management role or consulting role, and I have zero transferable skills that I can produce while sitting for placements, how does ISB really help you to gauge that whole experience and be where you are? I think Priyanka, you can definitely, yeah.
I'll just cover one more part of the question that you asked about the skills. I think I didn't cover that. So in terms of the skills, especially with consulting, I think the main one is problem solving and being good with data, right? Because in most of the interviews that you'll have for consulting, it'll be about you get a case, you need to solve or rather, you come up with a solution as you would do as a consultant as well later on. But this is a briefer one. And then, of course, GPA also matters in terms of consulting. And because that just shows that, your potential across the cohort. And I think problem solving and data analytics, like these skills are something which are more relevant for consulting. And of course, communication, effective communication. Those are the soft skills as well, where ISB has a lot of soft skill courses as well throughout the terms, which will help you get there. So I think it's a combination of both technical skills and soft skills in terms of the skills required. Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, Chaitra. Over to you, Priyanka. You have anything to add and sum up so far your experience and journey with ISB? I think probably you can speak about the pre-placement fever that is brewing right now in the campus. Please share your insights.
Chaitra has been very comprehensive, very detailed answer it was. To be honest, like if before pre-ISB, I had like a set of goals that I had to achieve for my post-ISB career. But once you get into ISB, it's the cohort, it's the subjects or the cases that we go through on a day-to-day basis, and the assignments or the quizzes that we do, and the type of clubs, like the clubs that we have, the type of experiences that we go through are very important. And each and every day you get some more clarification on what you could do or what you can get better at, because the minds that you communicate with are all brilliant and very, very much supportive. So whatever diversified thought you got, you can just share it with a cohort of your same like minds, and then you can exaggerate it, or you can you can get in detail, and then you can always get it clarified, even though if it might be with the prof or with the fellow student. It would give you some clarity. Like I had zero clarity before ISB, but I mean about what PM is or how I should proceed into PM. And it's 3 months I'm into ISB, and I got a lot of clarification already. So I definitely think the atmosphere here will really help pick, what we want to do and how we can go towards achieving the targets. So there is a lot of guidance that ISB can provide, as Chaitra said, in detail.
Yeah, I think in summary, it is the network, right? Including the alums, I think it's like 13,000 alums or so, and also the network itself that you have within the campus with so much diverse backgrounds. The discussions you have are completely so rich on a day-to-day basis. I actually miss that, right? And secondly, the resources that you have within campus itself, be it course material, be it the professors or lectures, be it, the acads or the
connectivity.
The placement committee that is there, and also then the student run clubs. I think put together, it's a very, very good environment to be in to get what you want. And even life in ISB, everything else is taken care of. You just be there and, you get what you want in terms of your career. I think, that's how I would sum it up.
Actually, right now, guys, reporting from ISB, we have 2 club events going on at the same time simultaneously, one with the consulting club and one with the marketing club. So it is like an icebreaker session where even though you have no clarity, even though it is 3 months that you got into ISB, you want some clarity, you want to speak to like minds that have the same interest that you got, you can just go. It's not like like something which like an acad session or some class, but it is a very friendly session, and that the club people do, like club people are cohort itself, so they have like minds, and they organize events that will give you more clarification. They'll help you reach your target. So the clubs are really good here, and it's really fun to be here. It's not like a journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Chaitra.
Yeah, I remember when I was there, right? Like how Priyanka was mentioning the different clubs, we had like the consulting club and the BTC club. BTC is essentially business and tech club, where we focus on product management. Consulting is where aspirants who want to go get into consulting, register there, right? And in each of these clubs, as and when you move towards the placements, there are a lot of these case study sessions, and we break out into these teams, or rather like just study groups, where we have mock interviews for each other. We do product breakdowns of taking any product and doing a product breakdown. So all of these activities happen within these professional clubs, which also will help you a lot, especially during placements, to have that support also of fellow aspirants around you. So yeah, that's just something which I want to add in terms of the activities that clubs themselves do.
Thank you so much, guys. I think there are multiple questions. I was hovering through this particular chat here, that somebody having less than 2 years of experience or zero product management, experience, and landing in ISB, how would they, have a career trajectory beginning with, placements at ISB? And I think you guys have covered it all. I think PLP experience will also add to this. So I just wanted to hear more about the product management club, as in what kind of a mentor connectivity that happens here. I think, Chaitra, you would have experienced it, right? The kind of workshops that you have, I think if you can throw some light on that, it would be really helpful.
Yes, I'll specifically talk about product management club now. So in terms of the events that happen over the year, right, especially towards the placements and before that is when it's most active. One is workshops from external folks as well. Like, for example, Microsoft had come in for a workshop, I believe, on product management. There was a workshop during my time from Flipkart as well, where alums had come and spoken through, what they do on a day-to-day basis, what is it that you require to, in terms of the skills, how do you prepare for interviews and all of that. So one is workshops from external folks. Then internally as well, since there are a lot of people some people do have some background in product as well, we also have internal sessions itself that are run within the club. Which happens, say, on a weekly basis, where someone volunteers to share their experience or, tell what is important and what is not. Then we also have something called breakout sessions, which I was mentioning, where take up specific product and then break down what is good, what is not good, critique the design, come up with, the metrics which are related to that, and how would you improve it. So I think that is the third way that we have. And then, of course, there are case competitions as well, which happen along especially in the first few terms. And I remember when we had, I think, Microsoft come in, we had a lot more other companies also come in, and not just in product management, others as well. But case competitions and case studies are another way as well, where clubs come into play. And also, with alums, as and when we move towards placements, two things have become very important. One is resume, and the other one is actual preparation for placements, right? Resume, why? Because shortlisting happens based on that. So we have a detailed 1, 2, 3, at least 4 revisions, I'd say minimum revisions, that happen on resumes itself as to how you want to template it based on the job profile that you're applying to. And alums actually come to campus, sit with you on half an hour, slot sessions, and then give you feedback, give you comments, give you how you can improve that. So one is on resume building itself. The second thing is mock interviews, which are very important, because alums from outside come and take your interview in a mock setup. So that gives you confidence, that gives you feedback as to how an actual interview would happen, and what are the different rounds that would happen in different companies, right? So like the basics are like the product design round, then there's the metrics related round. For example, if some metric, the adoption of a certain feature has reduced, what would you do as a product manager to figure out what happened wrong, right? And then there is like a market or a market related or strategy related interview session, and then it could be some other thing based on the company that is coming, right? But in general, mock interviews really help you become more confident and tell you if you're going in the right direction or not, and how you can structure your conversation in an interview. I think that's the most important when you're having these interviews with companies, right? So the product management club, the BDC club rather, has all of these sessions and in different formats, which will help you get the product management job that you're looking for. And in terms of placements, I think ISB has one of the best placements, right? And also being the best B school in India and also one of the best B schools in Asia, I think you have a lot of opportunity here in getting that dream job that you want. That's what I at least I had in mind, and I am very happy to be there. But yeah, that's what I want to share with all of you as well.
Thank you, Chaitra, because it's totally true. Year on year, we have had a substantial, phenomenal growth. In fact, if we have to look at the Financial Times ranking, in 2020, we were ranked number 3. And then, 4, and then we came to a level of 3 in 2021. Now we are marked as number 1 globally. So all kudos to our CAS team, and then the amazing team that is working around the clock, and to the students, obviously. So there are few questions, as in, if let's say somebody who has less than 2 years of experience, early entry option candidates or a YLP candidate, or anyone who has not had significant work experience, what kind of a soft skill that they need to develop or have an understanding before they sit for the interview for ISB, at least to say that, hey, I want to land in a product management role after my ISB's experience. And Priyanka, you can also add to this particular question.
Yeah, Priyanka, do you want to go first, considering you had these interviews recently?
Yeah.
And then you can add to it.
I mean, I wanted to add to the club part that we just discussed, since I see a lot of questions that people are asking about why they should get into ISB instead of taking a PM, like a PM program, which is of a 1 week or a 2 week duration. So basically, ISB is all about an experience, an enriching experience, a knowledgeable experience where you get to meet amazing people. It's not only the people of the cohort, but it's the alums, like how I met Chaitra. And it's the alum part where right now we are having a one-on-one resume session with the alums. So they give you like an in-depth guidance of how a resume will be considered from the company perspective. And it doesn't even only help you during your placements, but throughout your life. Whatever you learn here is not only like a temporary learning, but it's going to help you get anywhere in your life. And it's the cohort and the subjects that matter a lot. So it's like, for example, I want to get into PM role, and I get to work on examples which I might work as a product manager in future, where I'm being guided by my cohort or my professors on how to get along with the problem. It's not just the theoretical learnings that we learn here, just like, I wouldn't compare it with a 2-week course that you get on Udemy or anywhere else, but it is an experience, an overall experience where you get a complete support on how to approach problems, or how to get into the get through the solution. And apart from that, the clubs help a lot. It's not only the resume one-on-one resume sessions, but we have a product conclave this weekend where we work on product case comms. and we get to meet amazing alums who who are working as product managers right now, and many more CEOs of different consulting companies and product based companies, where you learn a lot from them. It's not only about PM role, but whatever role you get into, ISB is going to help you get there or get some clarity over the market. So that was about the previous talk that Chaitra spoke. And when it comes to EEO or YLP, who have less than 2 years experience, I have my own SG mates, like my own study group mates and my own classmates who are EEOs and YLPs themselves, who are targeting for MBBs, like the top consulting companies. And since I'm not targeting for consulting companies, but I've seen them targeting for few things that they could do to get into a consulting firm, I would say GPA is the most important part. Once you get into ISB, GPA is the most important part. And the second thing is case competitions. Case competitions is a rush. Like you got to win at least at least a few to to stand out and to get shortlisted. And win a few is not anything complicated. You have an excellent cohort who will help you throughout your journey. So apart from the case comps and apart from the GPA, there are a few more things like your communication skills, your soft skills, as Chaitra said, and your resume. The resume is the most important part, where you got to portray yourself. As from the start, we have been stressing on that part. So resume is the most important part, where the EEOs and YLPs, or the people with less than 2 years experience, can crack or get shortlisted into roles that not even like 4 to 5 years experience people can get into. Like I wouldn't say I wouldn't compare between them, but resume plays a very important role. So maybe Chaitra can add to it.
I see some questions on like the ROI of this as well, and also like the role of a product manager in a day-to-day basis. Marcel,
I was just about to ask you that question. In fact,
okay.
That was my next question, but go on.
Yeah, so touching upon the first one, right? I think Priyanka has covered it to a certain extent of why, say, a single course or something like a Udemy course will not suffice. ISB is like a complete package that you get, right? The people whom you meet, I think, is really, really helpful. You will not appreciate it right now, but after leaving campus, you'll understand the kind of conversations you used to have on a daily basis. It's just very, rich conversations that you talk about, like the business, tech, and that having that mindset is very important, right? So it sort of changes you on how you think about problems and how you structure and approach problems. So that is number one. And the second, and that's basically the network and the structured mindset that you get throughout the conversations and the interactions that you have, right? The second thing is the amazing faculty. In ISB, it's not just local, it's also from international schools, other MBA schools like Kellogg, Wharton, etc., who come in and teach. So you get this amazing global world-class education right here, right? So that's also another reason why ISB and why this on the return that you get, right? And thirdly, as I said, the placements as well is like the top class, right? So and of course the fourth one is overall campus life itself, and I think you've touched upon that already. So together it's a very, very good package, and I would say the actual benefits you will see after graduating from the class, and when people around you are, say, like AVPs, VPs, and you would know them in your network, right? How good is that? So that's when the ROI kicks in the long run. And if you're in India, I think ISB's brand and recognition that you get is I can vouch for that. Like people look at me differently when I say I'm from ISB, right? So that creates a brand value automatically when you represent this the ISB, right? So that's the ROI we're talking about here. And you will definitely see it in the long run as well. As in when you grow to more higher positions in your career, when you would know people in another company who are at like a AVP level, VP level, and you can just talk to them because they are in the ISB community, right? So that's where it actually matters and kicks in. So it's a long run game, and that's how you should think about it, because you're investing that way only. I think there are some questions on the admission side as well, as to how do you prepare and get in. I think we can touch upon that first, and then I'll cover the day-to-day life of product manager after that.
I will shortly we'll go back to the admission segment of question, and I would like to understand how was your interview experience with ISB, and Priyanka, you can speak about your test preparation, whether if you have given GMAT or GRE, and same goes with Chaitra. So just before we begin, I would like to clearly, speak about that. We do not have a cutoff score, and we do not differentiate between GMAT or a GRE score. Why we do not have a cutoff is because ISB's cornerstone has been diversity, and we give quite a bit of vital importance to diversity. So that's the reason we have a range for GMAT and GRE, and the range is not set by us. It is set by the students who have just joined that particular year. So current year, the range for GMAT is between 610 till 770. So we have students who have scored 670, 620, 630, 640. It's a generic perception that I have 770, I should be able to make it to ISB, but every spectrum of your application will have certain and equal weightage. I think it's very important for you to work on your application equally as how much effort you're putting into your test score. And for GR, it's the same. We have the range is between 318 till 338. So over to you, Chaitra and Priyanka. Please share your experience related to the test score, to the interview experience, and the whole gamut of the application in overall nutshell. Just go over to you guys.
Yeah, so I'll briefly share about my experience, and then I think Priyanka, you can join in, right? So I took the GMAT, and I mean, I won't touch upon the GMAT, study experience itself, but I'll talk about the ISB essays and then the interview process. So GMAT, after taking GMAT, there is the questions which, ISB asks in your essays about, mainly about, what are the different, I think like a situational based generic question where you can put in your experience and how, why you would be like a good fit for ISB, and also how ISB will help you reach your, career aspirations, etc. I think there are questions around that. And then once you add in that, there is a shortlist that happens for round 1 and round 2 and so on. In the interviews itself, I think it's, each one is different, right? There is a panel generally of alums and also from the admissions team, where you are asked questions about your profile. So really knowing your resume, and that helps. And also being very truthful on your resume, and knowing in deep about the projects you've done. And also where you exhibited skills of, it could be ownership, leadership, or the impact that you have had in those projects or those years. And then also like strong reasons of clarity as to why you want to do an MBA, and how is ISB going to help you reach that next level of career move that you want to make. I think having that discussion also comes up during interviews. So yeah, one, I think really knowing your profile well. And then the second thing is in the interviews, just being your true self, and being prepared with why ISB, why MBA. Like there are some other questions as well based on each profile to profile, but these are general ones which generally come up. So yeah, that was the interview process for me. And then specific to my profile as well, I think I was asked about my startup experience and what the startup was about, what did we do, what worked, what did not work, and what did I learn from that, and so on. So it would be specific to each person based on the resume that you have in the interviews, and also on the essays that you've written in the interview, in the admissions process. But for selections, what I understand is it's a complete holistic view that is taken, like the test scores, the essays that you write, and the interview also, how it goes, and then the call is taken. So I think Manasa can add more to that, but that's the understanding that we have. Yeah.
I'll add after Priyanka will, share her perspectives and insights on the same, and then I'm gonna give admissions point of view. But Chaitra, I think you covered it all. Over to you, Priyanka.
So my experience into like of getting into ISB was kind of like challenging for me. All I focused on was on my essays. I already had 3 years of experience. That was a little less than the average. I guess Manasa is going to cover those details further. And I had to focus more on my essays, and since and diversity was important. Like during my interview, I was asked about my how diverse my background was and what I could offer to the ISB network. And apart from that, it's all about how hard and how committed you were until you applied into ISB, that you got to portray yourself during the interview process. My interview was taken by 2 ISB alums as well. So it was a really interesting round. And I never faced such questions, to be honest, but it was an amazing, memorable interview that I would remember throughout my life. And I would suggest as PGP cohort 2023 to people like to potential admits to focus more on the score and the essays and diversity, and what you can offer to ISB. So these are like 4 important things that you can focus on to get a successful admit to get into ISB. And one of the questions that I've just read, it is a 1-year program. So we started it from April 2022, and we're going to end it by next March. So yeah, I guess Manasa is going to cover further details regarding the admission. That was from me.
Thank you, guys. I think you made my job easier. I think you guys covered it very comprehensively. But to add and reiterate on the verticals that you have discussed, so we truly have a holistic approach towards evaluating an application. So when we say holistic, every aspect in your application will have certain and equal weightage. So let's say somebody is a sports person, or somebody is a theater artist. We are not expecting phenomenal academic score from them, but they have something exceptional to showcase. So just try to highlight every segment of your, we would like to understand a 360-degree view around your personal as well as professional life. But try not to be phony around, okay, I did this or that, but just be very generic and be very candid and lucid around your experiences and be authentic in your essay. So if, a test score is only a segment of it. So we are looking at your quality of work experience here. So when I say quality of work experience, we look at your, years of experience, plus the kind of role you have managed, the kind of escalations that you had at workplace, the kind of team that you have worked with, the organization that you have been a part of. So all this sum up to give us a understanding of where you stand in professional aspect. And coming to the essay segment, I think a lot of people get fidgety around it and run around consultants to get their essays done. Please do not do that. Here, we are not looking at Tudor level of, vocabulary from you or any heavy jargons. We would like to clearly understand if I have to hover through your essay in 5 to 10 minutes, we would like to understand the kind of leadership spark that you have, what you bring to the table from a diversity point of view, why you have to do an MBA, why only from ISB. This gives us an outline around your short-term goal. And in, hindsight, we would like to understand where do you see yourself in long run. So if you are clear around that, I think that should work. And extracurriculars, the quality of work, extracurriculars will add up, and hobbies, we would like to understand every segment of your life so far. And in the interview, again, it's just like interviews conducted by Alam's, and Alam's not going to ask you what is your take on coming inflation or GDP or Ukrainian-Russian war or gas prices. There's nothing related to IQ. It's going to be primarily on EQ and on every word that you have put across in your application. They would like to understand the kind of recommendation letter you have received, the kind of work that you have experienced. So this is the kind of experience that ISB will leave you with, and we would like to bring that kind of a diversity into the cohort. Pretty much that, hence we have a range when it comes to test score, and we do not have a cutoff. So quickly moving on to the next question. This is related to product management role. How much did you past or pre-ISB work experience help shape your product management career today? How product development exactly works after an MBA?
Got it. So I've also answered someone who were asking about, the courses which help product management as well, along with the core courses, and then also the elective courses which come after term 4. I've just mentioned a short brief about that, and also the profs who I really thoroughly enjoyed the classes, and also I go back to refer to some of these concepts, especially in like pricing and marketing analytics and even data analytics for that matter. So, and I believe there is also a product management elective itself now in ISB, which I was going through. So that's also amazing. So that's a little bit about the electives and the courses itself. Coming back to the question Manasa was asking, I think it was 2 questions, right? One is about the, I think the day-to-day, and the second one is, can you please repeat the question?
Sure, I'll do that. So how much did your past and pre-ISB work experience help you shape your product management career today?
Yeah. So past and pre is what is asked, right? So I'll just be, I'll try to give the perspective from myself and also some of my friends who had like a data analytics past, or like I have like a tech past, right? So tech past, as I said, it helps definitely to understand and talk to your developers and your engineering managers better, and understand how when you're even having a discussion of how long a feature will take or how do we implement it, etc. So it just gives a better understanding that way. And in terms of analytics itself, for folks who have a data analytics or a data scientist, if they've been doing that kind of a work, right? So that helps in the data angle of the product management role. And even if you do not have these two, these two skills or these two experiences, it's fine, because there are courses which will help you throughout the year, and also there are skills which you'll pick up on the way as well. So in terms of past experience, I think analytics does help product management to a large extent, because even in a day-to-day job, you do have to analyze what customers like, what they don't like. Even when you release features, you need to see the metrics of what did it move, what did it not move, what did it affect, right? And it needs to have a mapping to what is the business impact that you had with that particular feature. Because anything a product ships, that'll be related to some business impact. It could be with revenue, it could be if it's a product like Zoom or like Microsoft Teams, it could be with their engagement, adoption, things like that. So analytics is something which is important. Having tech background, as I said, is also a good to have. If you don't have these two as well, it's fine completely, and you will get these skills along the way. So that's about the past and pre experience. And the second thing I just touch upon is like the day-to-days of a product manager. Do you want me to go ahead with that?
No, I think it's related to how product development exactly works after your MBA. I mean, I think the question was more pertaining towards the role.
Towards the role of product management?
Yes.
Got it. So product management after MBA.
I mean, like, how do you define your role after an MBA?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So as a product manager, right, there are multiple hats that you need to wear on a day-to-day basis. It depends on how it goes. But briefly, there are 3 things that you need to look at. One is the customer angle, as to what are you building and why. does the customer really need this? And that you get through, say, customer research, or even what people use in the product itself from the data that you have, and also these interviews, etc. Right? Then the second part is the business side of it, or the strategy side of it, as to what do you want to build, and the prioritization of when to build it, and by building this, how will it help? So all of these things, as and when I'm talking about it, there are some skills or some technicalities required for you to analyze how you're going to do this. For example, for the customer side, there is the marketing thing which comes across as to how do customers behave, or how do you get these surveys, etc. So here is where marketing courses help. And then there's the business side of it, where your strategy courses help, or your market compete courses help, right? Global markets, or I think marketing strategy, there are courses on this as well. So strategy courses mainly help you in taking that part of your decisions on a day-to-day basis. Then there's the execution side as well. Once you've locked in that we are doing this feature, right, you need to execute it along with the designers and the engineers. So execution is where you need your soft skills, where you need your communication, where you need negotiation, where you need interpersonal skills, because you're not going to be directly managing these folks, but you still need to have that influence, right? So influence without direct authority. So there are these certain soft skills that you require, which you get from certain courses as well through your MBA. Right? For example, it could be change management, it could be negotiation itself. Nega was a very, very popular elective, I believe. I think it is still even now. But there are certain courses which talk to that aspect of your skill for a product manager. And yeah, I think these summarize, like, on a day-to-day basis of the how you can map to give you a picture of how it actually fits in. Yeah.
Thank you, Chaitra. I think it was quite comprehensive. Thank you so much. Priyanka, we would like to hear your insights and perspective on what Chaitra has said.
Chaitra is amazing. I mean, she has given the perfect answer. I'll definitely go on with her.
Well, coming to the electives part, we have close to 80 electives that ISB offers. First 3.5 terms, you will be covering core courses on general management subjects. And the next 4.5 terms will be around, like, you can pick electives from 17 minimum till max about 21. So if you finish 6 electives in a particular segment, then you'll finish a specialization under a bracket of that. And please, if you can go to our website, we have listed out all the electives that we offer in Hyderabad and Mohali campus. Please take a look around that. So there's a question: how is B2B product management different from B2C product management?
Got it. So I'll just briefly talk about this, because this can be a session in itself. But B2C, for folks who, I just want to briefly talk about that as well, right? B2C is essentially like business to customer, where products like, say, Myntra or Amazon or Flipkart, all of this, where an end consumer is actually using that product. B2B is where business to business. It could be, for example, Salesforce, or even like, say, Udaan, or things like this, right? Essentially like enterprise products that you use, even say Zoom, or Teams, or all of this come in B2B. So the product management skills required are slightly different for these two, but overall you do require the same ones, right? For example, data is still there, where you need to see, what is working and what is not working. You still need to see roadmap and the strategy part of it. Maybe the priorities would be different, and maybe in a B2B product, you would not really worry a lot about the design and the UX, as opposed to, say, a consumer product, right? But there are some skills which will still remain the same on a day-to-day basis, but there are some where you'll give more importance in a B2B product versus a B2C product. That's a short answer, and I hope that sort of helps you understand. But overall, the skills required are the same. It's just that you would focus more on the design, the UX, and how a user would actually use your interface more on a B2C product versus a B2B, which will maybe have a longer sprint time, and you'd focus more on the efficiency or the performance and things like that. And it varies product to product. And it varies industry to industry also. For example, in e-commerce, maybe the metric that you're looking for is, say, a GMV, or if you want to reduce your operation cost, or if you want to improve your delivery time, for example, Swiggy or Zomato is what they might be looking at. Versus a Microsoft Teams that I'm working on right now, we look at more of engagement. Like how are users, like how much time are you spending on it, or when do you come back, or things like that. So the metrics you use will also be very different in B2C versus B2B, right? So yeah, that's a short answer.
To add to what you're saying, I think, do you recall any prominent faculty that, during your, tenure and span at ISB you can think of, and you're still connected to them? I mean, in day-to-day basis, like we hear quite a bit of story, like once you are in ISB, you are a family, and the connection, the relation that is built is for a lifetime. And we hear very good stories from Alam, and I would love to hear it from you. And Priyanka, you can add your current experience with the faculty. I would like to hear more around this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's very true. Professors are really supportive here, right? Even when you go to them and discuss your thoughts and your questions, etc. I think the specific ones which I can talk about, Professor Bhagwan Chaudhary, I think we used to connect and have these little coffee sessions. And I think he even is very active on LinkedIn and all of this. So Professor Bhagwan Chaudhary, who used to teach in UCLA, by the way, and now is in ISB. And then Professor Sudhir as well, Sudhir Voleti. He takes marketing strategy, and I think even in the core courses, he takes marketing, I think, as one of the core courses. And also on pricing, actually, there is Professor Manish Gangwar, amazing. That was an amazing course, and I think he's also, I think I've been in touch with him as well on some of the problems that we were solving itself, and wrote back to him. And yeah, so I think Professor Deepa Mani as well, she has been amazing actually, and very, very I think she's also been having a lot of sessions that I've been seeing with Bhagwan Chaudhary sir. Right. And yeah, I think she is really very, very electric, and I just get so much energy when I talk to her each time, and very relevant as well to the tech space that I am in. So yeah, I think you guys will be having her in the core term as well. I don't know if Priyanka has already had those courses, but yeah, she's an amazing prof as well. And these are just few to name. I can name a longer list, but just a brief one.
Like to hear your experience so far, Priyanka. Go on.
So it's my turn too. As an ISB insider, I would say term 2 is called as hell term. We have the placements coming in, and we have too many quizzes and assignments that are preparing us for more challenges ahead. And the professors have been very kind. The thing about ISB is that on a day-to-day basis, every class or every session that we attend, we get to discuss these real life cases that we solve in class, where professors who are visiting professors from INSEAD, from Wharton, and like Professor Mihir Mankad and Om Narasimham. So there are many professors who visit ISB and teach us for a term, where we get to read many cases that Harvard, INSEAD, and different universities abroad are working on, where we get to see how they solve the case and how we can approach a solution, as I said before. And apart from that, when it comes to diversity, I've seen few questions about international opportunities also. We have this international exchange program also that is scheduled. So we get to, as an ISB student, I get to apply for an exchange program to another university abroad. There are a list of universities that ISB offers, and where you get to explore more like different a country, their education and their way of teaching. So which is very interesting again. So it I was as we said since start, ISB is all about diversity, and it's not only like we read or we study something related to India. It's all around, like we study subjects all over the world. Like we get to know the market all over the world as an MBA or a PGP student. And somebody was even asking what is the difference between PGP versus MBA. And I guess Chaitra can throw some light over it. She'd be knowing it better than me.
Yeah. Hey, I think there was, I will touch upon that. I think there were also questions on placements of for product. I think I'll cover that and then I'll come to this, right? So for placements itself, at least when I was there and I was in Core 19 3 years back, right? Consulting and product, these two are the most key roles which come, right? And people also who are aspirants, mainly sort of majorities for this, and then there's of course finance, marketing and ops, and general management also, of course. But as far as placements, at least when I was seeing, right, for product management itself, a lot of companies come. Flipkart, for example, Microsoft, all of them, Amazon, and then there is a lot of startups also which come in. Make My Trip, I think, was there, and then Google also had come in one of the years. So in terms of placements, I think various companies, right from small to large, have been coming to ISB is what I can say, and also providing very, very competitive packages, and I think increasing year on year. So that is something which is like the best, I would say, in like the MBA ecospace and the ecosystem. So that has been my experience, and also speaking to other folks as well from different cohorts. So yeah, that's something which I wanted to touch upon based on some of the questions I was seeing on the chat.
Yeah, just to add to Chaitra, what you have said, guys, if you can go to our website, you can download the last 5 years placement report. And you can see the various industries and roles and opportunities that have, been, I mean, the kind of avenues that we have placed across for our students. And that's where that has been reflected by our rankings again, the Financial Times year on year. But I just wanted to add this, Chaitra.
Yeah,
go on with your second question.
Yeah, and I think someone had asked about offshore placements as well. Yes, I have friends who are in Singapore right now, placed in Apple, and Apple had also come during our year. So I think a lot of companies, right from bigger companies to startups with very competitive packages, to just summarize that, will be in ISB placements, and you will be able to choose. That's the thing, right? Because you will have the shortlist, you will have the interviews, and you will be able to choose between which company you want to go to. So that's something which is really, really good.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to add something to Chaitra. So this was from like the alums itself that I heard, where they, during the placement week, they get like around 5 to 6 shortlists and they decide on where to go, depending on the flexibility of the package or the role that you are interested in. That excites me a lot. I haven't gone through my placement week yet, so yeah, that is the most exciting part. It's not like, you get a role and then you can't sit in any other interview. You get to sit wherever you want. You get to interview to whichever company you are interested in, whichever role you're aspiring to, and at last choose between the roles. So ISB is great in offering you lots of flexible options.
Yeah, for sure.
Chetra, before I forget, I think there are a couple of text messages here asking if you can share the resources that you have, probably brought up in the beginning of the session. I think if you can highlight them, I think it will be useful for them. And then we can move on to the next question.
Got it. Resources in general for product or through the ISB year?
A general for product manager role, somebody who has 0 to X number of years.
Got it. So resources, right? I think I'll just touch upon this one by one. So number one is, as a product manager, you need to have that product mindset. To build that, you need to start looking at, take any product, take WhatsApp or take Zoom, anything that you're using on a day-to-day basis, break it down. Like, what does it do? What problem does it solve? What are its business metrics? What is the user flow? What is the what is it that you can improve? What is not good? What is good? You need to start doing this exercise, right? So first is building the product mindset. If you do this with any product that you want to take and then write notes on it, etc., share it with someone, discuss it with someone, that is number one. In terms of resources itself, I think for product management, there's Decode and Conquer, which is like the go-to book that you can begin with. And then there are a lot of other books, good books as well. Like there's Hooked, if you want to talk about user behavior and design. And then also Twitter itself like has a lot of product resources, right? So that as well is another good resource where you get threads about these different business and product problems that people are talking about on a day-to-day basis, and tech as well. You need to be very on top of what is happening in this world to catch up with what's happening and all the technologies that are happening and what are different players doing, right? And then also, if it interests you, if it's specifically for PM interviews, then yeah, Decode and Conquer, cracking the PM interview. I think these two are the go-to ones, and then of course doing these product breakdowns and mock interviews. So I think these would be the good resources to begin with. So yeah, I hope that helps. And also there are these free newsletters that you can get on your Gmail or any email, right? There is Hustle, which has a lot of tech news. Then there is Morning Brew. There's Morning Context, and just be aware of these newsletters which do have tech news in general. So I think that will also help you. By tech, I mean like product as well. Like what is Apple doing? What is Alphabet doing? What is Microsoft doing? What is happening in e-commerce? So you just need to be aware of the overall market, so to say.
Thank you, Chetra. I think there are a few questions related to scholarship. I just want to quickly, speak about that. So we categorize aspirants into two categories. One is need-based and the other one is merit-based category. So needless to say, anyone who gets an admission offer from ISB would be, taken into consideration for merit-based, scholarship. So a scholarship starts from 5 lakhs to full fee waiver scholarship. And it goes the same for need-based. So if your annual income, your family annual income falls under 12.5 lakh INR, Indian rupees, that's when you'll be considered for a need-based scholarship. So what do we look at looking for a merit-based scholarship is that, we look at your academic background. I mean, if you have something to portray in the academic segment or your test scores or your work experience, your awards achievements, your extracurriculars, cumulatively sum up, and your application itself will speak up for the merit-based scholarship. And by default, everybody is considered for a merit-based scholarship. So we have scholarships which are being enrolled, rolled out before you join ISB. And during the ISB journey itself, we have few standalone scholarships. And after you graduate ISB, we have a couple of scholarships. I think this webinar wouldn't be sufficient to sit around and speak about the scholarship aspect here. I think I would suggest you all go to the fees and finance section and please have a look at the comprehensive scholarships that are available on our page.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Chaitra, please share your experience.
Yeah, I just wanted to cover the question on the PGP versus MBA as well. I think that's something which came up in the chat as well. So I think in terms of career and the opportunities that you'll get, I don't see a difference, right? PGP is postgraduate program and MBA is, Master of Business Administration. But in terms of the opportunities that you get, the PGP one will definitely have the same one, especially the ISB one is very well recognized everywhere. So absolutely no, I think it's the same. It's comparable to IIM ABC, I would say, in terms of the experience that I've had at least, and my fellow folks in the cohort as well, and previous cohorts. So that way there's no difference.
Actually, I'd like to add a little bit to it. So this is not regarding the PGP versus MBA, or like I wouldn't want to answer it that way, but the enriching experience that you would get coming into ISB as a cohort, or the knowledge that you'll take away with you once you get placed and leave ISB, and the network, or the, I would say, friendship, like the genuine friends that you would get, and the helping people, like the well-wishers you get coming into ISB is something more valuable than just comparing it with a PGP or an MBA course. The subject itself is a very extensive and very knowledgeable value that I would say, that I would say is like, that's the reason ISB is placed on global #1, based on all those things. So I'd say it is the experience altogether.
Thank you so much. So let's get to the fun segment of ISB's experience. So what is that you can recall when it comes to either, your once the placements are done? I think that is where I see a lot of students going, having a lot of fun in terms of events, like there's Bandhan, there's other few things, and, competitions again. So do you want to share your experience, Chaitra? And then Priyanka, I think you are still enduring the experience. So we'll get to that again. Go on, Chaitra.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can see a big smile on my face because that brings a lot of memories to me. So I think post placements, right? It's like the best time of your life, I would say, because you don't have that tension anymore, and you have all of your friends with you. So I think a bunch of events happen, right? I think the solstice that happens, which is like where alums from the previous years come and visit you in the campus. So it's an event which we have for our alums, and I think solstice every year is the best event, which happens in December. And then of course there are other events also which happen, like Bandhan, as you mentioned, and then Holi actually is a big fun thing that happens around March. ISB Holi is the best one. And also there are these other, apart from the professional clubs, there are these other social clubs in ISB, like the dance club, the theater club, there is the music club, right? So there are, programs, and there are these fun sessions that happen in each of these clubs. And then even each section wise, or even there are these the different blocks and quads. There are meetings and gatherings in all of these places as well. So like each day is like a festival once placements is done. So I think Priyanka will be experiencing that soon. But the whole place gets really happy, and very, very good times those are. So yeah, a lot of things to do with friends.
I see a smirky smile over there. Okay. Right. Priyanka, go on.
I'll stress on the pre-placement phase because I'm going through it right now. So
Right.
we started with a great O-week where we had section wars. We get to compete against the other sections, where we have all these fun activities where it's not only fun, but you get to work with different groups. I mean, different teams. You have your own set of team, and it is not only like fun, but it will kind of give you a insight into what kind of work or what kind of subjects you're going to get into. It was very interesting. And apart from the O week, then we get to have these section wars every now and then. Right now, we actually have a section war for fashion and lifestyle, where each of us dress up the best, and the section that dresses up the best gets the most points. And based on the points, it's like we have our own perks for it. And we had our first traffic lights party 2 weeks back. And then it's been only not even a month since I got into the campus, and we're already vibing. And it's not only fun part, as Chaitra said, the social clubs, they take equal place as the professional clubs, like the consulting club or product management club. You can develop your personality 200%. Like people who were introverts were successfully transformed into extroverts by the end of ISB. So whatever fears or phobias we got inside within that we cannot share, ISB turns them around at the end. I would say that.
Hey, and there's SLC also. Like, the role of the SLC committee is to make sure your life on campus is amazing.
Yes.
So that is there as well. And there's this sports league also which happens, right? That's
Right.
also a very, very big event which happens.
ISL.
ISL, yeah. That's something which we didn't touch upon. So ISL is next level. I mean, essentially imagine like there are different different games like cricket, volleyball, basketball, swimming, and frisbee. All of these happen, and alums also come in. There are these 4 I think like teams where you bid for, and it's a whole thing. So ISL is just next level. So that also happens towards
I
the
think this year was very eventful. They have reached close to 40 lakhs. I think the pot price was like insane. Yeah. But
a lot of alums go back for that. Like we also bid and we also come in and play. And I remember that. Yeah.
So actually, I would like to cover some non-acad part also, if for people who are really interested to know how the life within campus is like. So apart from acads, there are PORs, like positions of responsibilities. Like each and every event or each and every case comp or whatever happens within the campus is managed and coordinated by students cohort itself. So I would proudly like to say that we handle ourselves even during the COVID situations happening within the campus that our previous cohort had to face. It was the cohort itself who handled everything along with the management. Management is definitely there, but you get to learn a lot of management skills, leadership skills. You can polish over everything. I don't think it's just the acads or case competitions that bring out the person in you, but for the placement it is the entire you that has to get into the interview and show apart. So it's the PORs, like you contest for the GSB president, like the club presidents and the social club presidents, vice presidents, and even coordinators, where you learn a lot of things. You get to network with a lot of celebrities who come to campus. You get to know a lot of alums who are already working as on major roles. So it is the non-acad part which is equally important to the acad part that we realized once we got into the campus. So like pre-ISB, post-ISB, your personality as an individual personality changes, transforms completely 100%. And I would say that, at last, you wouldn't have any regrets. You must have learned everything in the world already. It's a short duration, but I would say that, it is worth it. It is worth the wait.
Yeah, and I think like 3.5 years now also, I just want to go back and experience that ISB life. I keep saying that to my friends, like, hey, I miss ISB so much. I want to go back. Because as Priyanka is mentioning, right, the way you start talking changes, the mindset and the structure of your thinking changes, because you interact with that, like that level of peers and the conversations that you have. It could be about ongoing things in the industry or world, and people from very different diverse backgrounds come in. For example, in my cohort there was a friend of mine who was from like the oil and petroleum industry, and he came into this PGP course, and we were talking about a lot of things which I did not know about, and he wanted to know about the tech stuff that I knew about. So it's very, very different, right? And there are folks, for example, who would come in from government roles as well. Like they've been consultants and etc. Government, like in Andhra Pradesh, or I think even in one was from Chandigarh or something like that. And the experiences that you share, the thoughts and the conversations that you have really, really changes your mindset and the way you look at things. I think that's like one of the key things, as Priyanka was mentioning, like the transformative aspect to it, right? And you will not realize when that's happening also. Like someone tells you that, hey, how are you talking so you so much more confidence and so much maturity. I think that just comes and happens to you when you're on campus with these amazing folks around you. So I think that's something which is very, very invaluable, I would say.
Thank you so much, guys. One last question before we move on to the next segment is that how rigorous is the program? I mean, we keep hearing that it is like running on a treadmill with 2 hot cappuccinos in hand. Is it true?
Yes. Short answer, see, it's a 1-year course, right? And you want to get back to your career after that with a good place where you want to be. So considering it's a 1-year course, yes. In the beginning it can get a little bit overwhelming, but then as and when you're going through it and you have others also going through it with you and you are the owner of what you want to do once you get into the campus, right? There are a bunch of things happening at the same time. For example, Priyanka said there are 2 other club events happening right now, but it's about what you want to do, and you need to focus on these ABC things and go after it. Because there'll be like a bunch of things to distract you, but you need to catch up on, okay, I need to do only these ABC things and then like go behind it. I think that if you have that clarity in your mind, I think then you're set. Otherwise, if you're considering everything that's happening in the campus, because there are like 10 clubs that keep having events, one on consulting, one on product management, one on entrepreneurship, and marketing, etc., right? Then it can be overwhelming, but it is manageable because we have all managed it, and I'm sure Priyanka is managing it. And you have your support system because there are study groups. It's not like you're alone in it, right? Study groups are there in every term, and after the 4th term you can form your own study groups, but till then there are study groups where you get to do assignments together, to finish your cases together. And then there are case competitions that happen. So a lot of events happen, but I mean, it's a good one to go with. And it is a little bit rigorous in the beginning, but you get used to it and you will enjoy it. That's how I'll put it.
When it comes to the rigorous part, I'd like to just give them my today's schedule.
Yeah, I think that will give the picture.
Yeah. So we have around 4 assignments and a quiz to submit by tomorrow. And apart from that, we have a case com that we got to submit by 10 a.m. tomorrow. And we have 2 club events going on now. And we have a product conclave day after tomorrow. And apart from all this, there are social clubs.
Exactly.
That you can always go to. And we have this photography walk. Photography club is one of the social club where photography enthusiasts can go, click good pictures, and then there are many events that go on. I'd say it is rigorous, but I wouldn't say that it is tedious and you will hate it. You're going to enjoy the pain. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to remember it throughout.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you also have the support group with you, there are folks doing it with you, and you'll be motivated to do it. And it's also good stuff, right? You feel good also at the end of the day. So that I think that way it's still fun. So yeah.
Well, I think there are few questions, adding to what you guys have said, that just study groups are like, the study groups are set by faculty, or is it like you choose like who's going to be in your group?
I think Priyanka, you would have more context on it right now as to how it is. So I'll let you go.
So the study group will be assigned by the ASA, like the academic council itself. And you get 5 people, I mean, 4 others working with you, 5 people in a group. And trust issues, there's somebody, Tanya Mishra, can you trust your peers in study group? Trust me, it's not only your peers in study group, you can trust anybody in ISB. The cohort is amazing. I mean, all the like-minded people together in the same campus. I mean, it is like adrenaline rush. So you can trust them. And apart from that, somebody even said that, doesn't it get toxic in terms of an extremely competitive environment, or, get tensed before the placement and all? Yes, the tension of being placed is there in me. You can ask me that because Chaitra is already placed. So it is there, but at the same time, the moment, the ISB moment is always there. You wouldn't want to miss that too. So
Yeah. And
there.
hey, sorry, Priyanka, finish your thought, then I'll discuss.
I mean, people are there to support you. I mean, there's no way that you'll feel alone at any point of time, and until you get placed, or after you get placed, you have the support system with you. It's not only your study group, but the entire cohort that you can depend on, who will help you throughout your journey, as I said. And it's not going to be peaceful, nor you'll be tense, because each of us help each of us succeed. So that is the main motto, I guess. I mean, the soul of ISB. We help each other in getting successful.
Yeah, I think the last sentence which Priyanka said, right? I was going to say the same thing, because when placements come, yes, it's going to be tense, but you will have people supporting you, helping you through that process. And for example, there are different days of placements, right? For example, on day one, if a person is placed, on day two, you'll see that person helping the next person who is not placed to go to their place of interviews, and help with their shortlist, or get into mock interviews with them, and help them, prep them to get their jobs, right? So that support system is extremely, extremely valuable, and it's very genuine that everyone on campus that you'll have that with. So that way, yeah, I think trust and making others successful, I think that's the
Adding to Chaitra, it's not only the case comms or the placements, but it's with the subjects. I'm from a non-finance background, and I have zero knowledge on economics or accounting. And I had this amazing group of people who helped all the non-finance backgrounds get through it. And when it would be my turn, where I'd need to pitch in for some technical knowledge, yes, I'm ready for it, and I'll do it. The same goes to Chaitra. So it's in every point of ISB's journey, where you get support, and you get supported, and you can support. So support is always there. It's all around.
Thank you so much, guys. I think with this, I think we have covered a lot related to product management. And thank you, Chaitra, for taking time out and being a part of this, and also Priyanka. But before we end the session, I would like to hear your parting words, or any sort of insights that you would like to share for our aspirants who are planning to get into a product manager role, or get into through ISB land in a product manager role. How do you probably you can share your parting words?
Yeah, I would say, just prep for your tests if you've not already taken it, and also think about what you want to put in your essays and your interviews. And really, just if you're focused on the product management role before even getting to ISB, I think start on these product breakdowns, and being on top of the news and the market around you. Just be aware of that. And I think just having that mindset, start having that mindset. So I think that is what I would want to share. And very, very like all the very, very best to your admission process and your interviews. So yeah.
Thank you, Chaitra. Over to you, Priyanka.
So as a new entrant into ISB, I have a couple of advices that I would like to give. So somebody is asking how would the interaction between the last batch be like? So we get assigned with a buddy allocation that we get. Buddy is a person from the last cohort who talks to you whenever you want to talk to them, whenever you're low, whenever you have any kind of doubts. So yeah, so we get to speak to our alums a lot. And they're always there for us. As I told you, it's not only the cohort, it's the ISB network itself that is very supportive to with each other, including the staff, I mean the professors and staff. And a few advices I would like to give is put in a lot of effort into the essays. And apart from the essays, I would want to stress upon the diversity, like whatever, even though if it is a very small thing that you have done in life, please try to portray it in your application. And apart from all that, please don't be tense during the interview. If you get shortlisted, please be very confident, be be prepared about what ISB can offer you and what you can offer to ISB. And after that, be very, very prepared on what kind of clubs you want to enter, because this has been a valuable lesson for me. I was not prepared for it. So yeah, I would say you should get into the ISB side, try to know what kind of clubs do ISB have and where you want to stand. And if you want to offer anything to ISB, getting to one of the core positions of the club. So that would be a very valuable advice that I would like the next cohort to or the potential candidates to follow. So apart from that, all the best, guys. I mean, and the one more thing that I wanted to add, which is like my personal advice, is that I tried to reach into ISB alums before even I got into ISB, and they have helped me a lot in my application process. So I would definitely suggest you all to reach to the ISB alums, ask them for help if you guys are stuck in the application process anywhere. They are really helpful and supportive. So whenever we get time, I mean, I'm not an alum, Chaitra is, but yeah, each of us can help you guys get through ISB's application process if you guys are stuck anywhere, since we have already gone through it. So please be free and try to start networking on LinkedIn prior to your rounds or your applications. It would be really helpful. So these were my advices. All the best, guys.
Hey, you're on mute, Mansa.
Mansa, I think you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. So thank you so much, Chaitra and Priyanka, for a very valuable insights that you have shared and for a fantastic session today. Thank you so much, and lovely to have you both today. And that's it. So we'll be staying.
Thanks, Mansa.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chaitra. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Richa.
Thank you, guys.
We will be continuing with our admission-related queries, Chaitra and Priyanka.
So we will
I
stay
think
back and we will take all the PGP and admissions-related questions. We did not want to hold you guys back, so we sort of front-loaded all the PM-related questions, and we'll now bat all the ISB questions, PGP questions now. So thank you so much, Chaitra and Priyanka again. Thanks, Mansa, for moderating. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. All the very best. I'll drop off now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chaitra. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
thank you so much.
AV team, you could stop the recording of the session because now we will start the Q